That's
Mine looks good. I have a go live though.
okay. So you must be good. Go.
And
I'll close out of that.
you're live.
All right. Let's see, /live. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us. This is the weekly Meatgistics live stream. You might notice something that we don't normally do on the Meatgistics live streams is available right on the right-hand side if you're watching at waltonsinc.com/live or through the Meatgistics page. We set up a little live stream up there for you at the top. We're doing a giveaway. Now, we don't normally like to do giveaways during these Meatgistics live streams because they're kind of different. We're not going for the same thing as we do with the Walton's live streams. These are more for meat processing tips. If there's something specific I want to talk about, and just so we can chat back and forth. We mostly like to keep it based around meat products. But last Thursday, I was doing a makeup podcast because the Friday or whenever we were recording before, neither Austin or I had any urge to do it. So I said in a podcast that I'd give something away, and we are going to give away this Primavac 305 chambered vacuum machine. This is a fairly pricey unit to be just given away on a random live stream. Hopefully, everyone who's here is going to get all the entries they possibly can for it. You might want to go to both waltonsinc.com/live and through meatgistics.com, the little live stream thing at the top, because it's an expensive unit and someone's walking away with it for free. This will be one of your best chances to get a chambered vacuum sealer for free that you're ever going to run across. The reason we're giving this away is not that we don't like the unit. It works fairly well, honestly. But we are having Walton's chambered vacuum machines come in almost the same size as this. So we'll still sell these, but we won't do much with it anymore. And having it in our test kitchen for, just to sit there and look pretty really doesn't make sense. I know there are plenty of Meatgistics users who've been wanting a chambered vac machine, so we're going to make someone happy today. Whoever wins this, I do have a form I'm going to have to send you. You're going to have to fill it out and send back to us. It's for the IRS. We don't submit anything to the IRS. It's on you to do that. And we have this form just so if the IRS comes to us asking questions, we can say, hey, we gave them this form. So, yeah, someone's going to win that. And then another thing, the live stream we're going to do on Monday is going to be another big giveaway live stream. We, through no real fault, but mostly my fault, I didn't ever realize that January's winner never responded, never claimed their prize, never did anything, just entered the giveaway and went off and did their own thing. So on Monday's live stream, we're going to go ahead and redraw January's winner, but we are also going to redraw February's winner because February's winner didn't accept the prize. I don't understand why people do this. I should check to see if I have audio. Oh God, do I not have any audio? I'm not hearing me. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. Sorry. For whatever reason, I'm not hearing it through my laptop. So, live stream on Monday. We're going to draw a winner for the Camp Chef Choose Your Own giveaway. That winner is going to either get the vertical double XL pellet smoker or the Woodwind 24-inch pellet grill combo. That's what I have at my house, and I can't say enough good things about that. I absolutely love it. Unless it's somebody who already has a pellet grill combo smoker, that's the one I would recommend. The vertical is definitely going to be better at snack sticks, summer sausage, bacon, hams, large things you want to hang. That is definitely going to do a better job on that. It's probably also going to do a better job on jerky, but the versatility of the woodwind just makes it so valuable. I mean, I do everything on mine from, you know, ribs, pork butts, steaks, chicken. I mean, there's nothing that I don't feel like I can do on that woodwind. And I have the little sear box on the side, which is really what takes that past a really good grill into the land of incredible. It's a little propane powered burner with a bunch of cast iron in there that just does an awesome job generating heat. I mean, you can sear a steak with perfect grill marks in like a minute, if that, aside, as long as you get it hot enough. So what I like doing is I go right from my the main chamber of the woodwind right in to that sear box, and it just absolutely works great. Somewhere on Meatgistics, I don't remember where it was, but Tex tried to say that those types of pellet grills are not good for reverse searing. He's out of his mind. Another thing about the woodwind, it's got a little slide you can pull, which brings back the heat deflector, so it allows you some direct flame grilling right over the top of the flame box. Works pretty well, not as well as the sear box. Sear box is definitely an improvement over that, but if you don't want to get the sear box, it's a good way to still get a nice sear on your steak. All right. A day early. No. El Schmidt, this is not that live stream. We are still doing that live stream. That's going to be on Monday. Monday at, I think, 2:30. We're going to send out a couple of emails with some information on those. This one is our weekly Meatgistics live stream. We try to do them every Thursday. They are usually based around meat processing and not giveaways. However, I'm giving this away as a apology to everyone for missing last week's, because I was redoing a podcast that I was just not in the mood to record a couple of days before that. So we've got a couple of cool things coming up on this next podcast. We're going to record it tomorrow, so you'll hear it not that Monday, but the following. There should be a bunch of interesting information. And I have an update on the new Waltons.com or WaltonsInc.com. It should be live on May 11th. We have everything ready to go. We're working with the hosting company, and we think everything's going to be good to go on the 11th. The 11th is, I think, a Tuesday. The 11th is a Tuesday. So next week, you are going to get our monthly live stream on the 3rd, then our Meatgistics live stream, and then the following week, you're going to get our, I don't even know how long we'll go. We'll probably come in here around noon and start live streaming on the 11th, and we'll just go until whenever. We're going to try and help people with any issues they're having from navigating the website, any issues that are popping up as far as orders. I'm sure Austin will have to be in and out, as he will probably have to go fix a bunch of IT things, but I'll be here with you trying to walk you guys through things. We think at least it's got better functionality and a little bit easier to get around, and it definitely does allow us for some increased ability to customize. We're going to have some pages that will let you go to one page and order everything you need to make a bratwurst, or a different page for snack sticks or jerky. Those won't, almost certainly won't be live from the get-go, but we will get those up fairly quickly at least. So, oh, it is hot in here today. Okay, so who's all here? Chef, Flyboy No More, Jeffrey Purell, Anthony Aguirre, Ruth Flynn, Fat Bob, Bob Stellick. Huh. I wonder if in my mind Fat Bob and Bob Stellick have always been the same person. It's very possible. Okay, but everyone who's here, make sure you're going over to the widget on the side of the page, because that's where we're going to draw the winners for this from. I'm going to wait till later in the live stream to do that, just to give as many people a chance as possible to enter. Let's see. All right, cool. It looks like it's up. And so it looks like people are able to enter. When we were talking about the Camp Chef earlier in this, I did some jerky for the first time on our Camp Chef Vertical Double XL. I'm going to have to do more testing, but I don't know how well you guys can see this, but there is a clear difference in the jerky on my left and my right. This right jerky is extremely brittle and very black. I'm thinking what happened was when I do jerky in a smoker, I generally start it for the first 10 minutes or so really high. The reason being is that I want to cook this to 160 pretty much as quickly as possible. The reason for that is because with jerky, we're going to try to get the water activity level so low that it's not going to have enough water in it to kill any bacteria or nasty little bugs in it. Once you get meat so dry, it cannot, no matter how hot you cook it, it cannot kill the bacteria. It needs moisture, hot moisture, to kill that bacteria. So that's the reason I like cooking it up to 160 and why I recommend you do it. I think what happened was I opened the door and I left it open for a couple of minutes, probably closer to a minute, to bleed off some of that heat. But I think that back panel retained a bunch of that heat. And that's why all along the back edge, it got this burned, flaky, pretty much inedible product. I'm going to do a bunch more testing on the Double XL, see why it did it, if this was just a one-off. But if anyone has the Double XL and they're planning on making jerky in the next couple of weeks, I would recommend you stay to the front 3/4. So just a quarter of the shelves in the back, leave those empty until I can figure out if this was just a one-off or if this is a flaw with that in jerky. I also used all 3 of the jerky screens that come with this, and on a few of them, I used the regular. There's definitely a difference in the texture of the ones that were the jerky screens. They have a much finer mesh, and the regular racks. You can see these long, well, I don't know if you can see them. There are long, thin lines along this where they were laying on the regular racks. The other ones have a much smaller, if really any noticeable line to them. So just something to keep in mind. This is that jalapeno mango jerky season that we talked about a couple of live streams ago. I've been trying to go through Excalibur's biz site and look for interesting seasonings that they have, and then letting people either on Meatgistics or these live streams decide what we bring in. On this one, I probably should have done a little bit more research. It's very expensive. This is a really pricey jerky seasoning. It is 2.25 pounds of seasoning, which is enough to do 25 pounds of meat, but it's $30-something for that. To put that in perspective, our next most expensive jerky seasoning is probably like 20, and most of them are in the 15-ish range, I believe. Just looking real quickly through, yeah, 15, 6, 7, yeah. So this is significantly more expensive than the average jerky, or average jerky seasoning. Also, I had my air conditioner running in here when I opened the bag, and some seasonings just from the formulation are super powdery, so they get lifted into the air really easily. Well, this is definitely one of those seasonings, and with the jalapeno, it is really hot. So I aspirated some of it, and that was not fun. I was coughing like crazy for a couple of minutes. So if you do go with this jerky seasoning, I would definitely recommend you not open it in a room that's breezy or has a fan running or anything. I would also tell you to open it and keep your head back. Don't look right over it and breathe it in. It was not fun. As far as the finished product, I vacuum tumbled this. So mixed in the correct amount of seasoning, vacuum tumbled it for 10 minutes, laid them out on the screens and smoked it. Everywhere, like some people called it underwhelming. It was too hot for some people. My initial thought was just some pieces absorbed more than others. But when you vacuum tumble it, that really shouldn't happen. So I think it might just be super subjective. I definitely get a good amount of sweet and kind of a lingering heat from it. I found it really pleasant. I really liked this jerky. But pretty much our commercial salesman thought it was a little too bland or mild. Now, I don't know if that's a product of how we cooked it, something in the process, but some seasonings are more subjective than others, and this definitely seems to be one of them. So, all right. Have I tried the ultimate chicken seasoning? Ryan, who's that from? Who's the ultimate chicken seasoning from? The one with the black label? I think that's what you're talking about. Either of these marinades. Jamaican jerk we've tried. It's good. I'm not an enormous fan of jerk chicken, jerk patties, anything like that. I've not tried the Red Devil Hickory marinade, Matt. I mean, it sounds super interesting, but have not tried it. Nice. All right. Steve Yoder says, interesting. I did jerky on my new double XL the other week, and I noticed a little difference along the back, but not that drastic. All right. So, Steve, how do you do it? Do you kick yours up real high to begin with, and then once it reaches internal of 160, bring it back down? Or do you stay low and slow throughout the entire thing? Because if you stay low and slow, I'm guessing that is what did it. Kicking it up to, because I started running it at 325. And then once it reached 160, I backed it back down. But I'm betting that is the reason. Somewhat recently, I actually did something similar to this. I sous vide the jerky first. So that's vacuum sealing it and then cooking it in hot water to get it up to 160. And then I put it in some in a smoker and some in a dehydrator. It absolutely worked. There's no question. It actually did a really good job. The problem is when you're sous videing something like that, you have to lay it all out on one level. You can't just have like this inside of a vac bag, because it'll take a lot longer for the heat to get to the ones in the center. So I had everything either, maybe it was doubled, but I think it was single layers. So it took a long time and a lot of vac bags to get done. In the end, I just honestly didn't think it was worth it. So. And another thing for the Monday's live stream, we are going to draw the winners not from January and February's drawings. We're going to draw it from people who are on the live stream with us. So should be 2:30. It might be 3, but it should be 2:30 on Monday. We're going to go ahead and get started. We'll also, like we normally do, we'll have some winners for some jerky and bag of seasoning of your choice. And I'm sure Austin will want to give away a Meatgistics leather apron. Chef, I saw you in here. Have you gotten your knives yet? Chef sent in a good deal of knives, which I sharpened for him as a thank you for a couple of things he's done. He had a Jason Voorhees knife is the only way I can describe it. The blade was literally this long. And the knife itself was kind of old and rusty, but I was able to get a really good edge on it with the True Hone. For me, that True Hone, for whatever reason, is almost like meditation. I just love sharpening knives. Something simple and easy to do that makes a drastic difference. And I love holding up a piece of paper and just slicing through it with a nice clean knife. It is very satisfying noise, very satisfying tactile feel. There's nothing I dislike about that. So, yeah, you can send in your knives. We'll sharpen them for a fee. I think it's $5 a knife. If you're interested in that, the way you would do it, just package them up really nice and safe, bubble wrap. A lot of bubble wrap on them helps. And you can send them to 3639 North Comatera, Wichita, Kansas, 67226, and put attention service on them and away inside the package for our customer service department to get back with you. Because we'll go ahead, we'll sharpen them, then we'll contact you, set up payment, and then get them sent back to you. Ryan says, Excalibur has beer can chicken marinade now as well. That sounds interesting. I feel like we had a sample of that like a year ago or something, and I don't remember anything about it. So I don't know if that will tell you anything, but I don't think it was anything like to knock your socks off. How do we enter when listening, watching on Android phone? So there should be somewhere where you're watching, like the three dots, like the hide the more options. You should be able to click on that and then select view as desktop. Then from there, you should be able to enter it. If not, you're going to have to get to some sort of laptop or something and go to waltonsinc.com/live. Also, still the waltonsinc.com/win is still open for the Camp Chef stuff. I know a lot of people have been getting their daily entries. And this is the second most users we've ever had and the second most actions, meaning second most number of people have entered to win, and lots of people have coming back for their daily bonuses. So make sure that you're not missing out on that. And go to waltonsinc.com/win. Every day you can get one more free bonus entry. Generally maxes out somewhere around 40-ish entries you can get. So yeah, just every extra entry you can get definitely helps out. So I'm assuming, okay, cool. He got him back. And chicken breast so thin you could see through it. Awesome. That's what we're looking for. Did you notice there was one, I was talking to him offline a little bit. There was one knife that for whatever reason, it wouldn't get sharp. I tried a bunch of different things. I definitely had like a different edge to it. The cleaver was also an interesting challenge with the True Hone. So like a boning knife and even a chef's knife, the overlap between the grinding wheels is similar enough that you can just turn it a few extra times and get a very good edge on either one of those. But for a cleaver, that was interesting. So I did test that on a piece of paper. The double-handled cheese knife was also a lot of fun to sharpen. Yeah, it's just fun putting sharp edges on huge blades. I mean, I'm still a little boy at heart. YouTube said this started at 5. I've always had trouble going through Gleam and chat on Meatgistics. I never know if I'm entered on Gleam or not. I'd be here anyways. I can only chat on YouTube. And you might just, if you want to watch on YouTube, that's fine. But definitely go to waltonsinc.com/live or to meatgistics.com. Up at the very top there of the Meatgistics page, there's that little live stream icon. Click on that, and that should let you enter to win this. Because there's only, I think, 4 ways to enter for this. So everyone can get 4 entries if they do all those things. And we're going to draw the winner today. You do have to be present, too, when we draw that. So, all right, did I miss anything up top? I don't think I did. The pellet girls, aren't you? are using a propane infrared burner for your searing. Pellet grill. Ryan says the pellet grills are using a propane. Yeah, like the side box is propane powered. Yeah, it is hard to get a good sear on a straight pellet grill for sure. I used to do it when I would use my old Green Mountain grill. I'd set my smoker to like 210-ish degrees. Then I'd pull it when it was at like around 120, wrap it in foil, and then kick my grill up as high as it go, which was only 500 degrees, and put the grill grates in. Grill grates are made of like some sort of aluminum. So the deal was they're supposed to get 100 degrees hotter on the surface of that grill grate than the rest of your grill. So they would, in theory, get up to 300 or 600 degrees. And you can get a decent sear with that. Certainly not as good as you can with a propane powered with cast iron grates. So yeah, it is kind of like a smoke it and then use the propane on the side. Matthew, that's just beef. Their eye of the round is generally what I like to use for jerky. It has very little intramuscular fat. When we're making jerky, that's one of the things we're looking for. Fat inside of pieces of jerky can, depending on how you cook it, either be a pretty tasty thing or it can make it all kind of fall apart. When I've done tender jerky in the past, the pieces that had a lot of fat in them were actually really nice, especially when I made the brisket jerky. It did a really good job of, when you bit into the fat, it still maintains some of the juice from it. So it did a really good job coating your mouth and letting the flavor linger longer. But when you're making regular jerky, that has a tendency to just completely cook away, dry up. So when you pick it up, it'll split into pieces. So yeah, very little intramuscular fat, and they're relatively inexpensive. They're not too expensive. As we all know, jerky, one of the reasons it's so expensive is we're planning on losing around 50 to 70% of the weight of the meat in the cooking process. That is one of the things we really like about the Walton's Bold Tender Jerky. I've done it before and lost, I think, 22 or somewhere in that range. 22% was my best, like the least amount I lost, and that's huge. Eventually, that will take off. More people will start doing it, and I have plenty of it to send out. I don't think I'm going to send this out, though. I think for the live stream on Monday, I'm just going to send out the tender jerky, just because I'm not sure on the water activity on this. But, I mean, if anyone's in the area and they want to stop by and try a piece at some time, let me know. I can either leave some for you out front, or if I'm here and available, I'll come out and say hi. So Ryan says, how is your experiment cleaning grill grates coming along? It's not. So I had somebody here bring in their grill grates that they've used for a long time but hadn't been using in a while, so I could try some different things cleaning them. And I was pretty excited about it. I thought it'd be cool to try to get them back to like brand new, and we should be able to do that. But there's just so much going on here right now. The new website, we're trying to bring in a bunch of new products. We're trying to plan way better this year for our holiday sales, so that we can offer much more products. COVID last year really destroyed our ability to come out with like a full sale. It would have been a lot more grinders, mixer stuffers, vacuum sealers. Instead, we had to kind of fill it in with what we had and what we could get. This year, our holiday sales should be a much bigger event. So hopefully shipping will stay somewhat reasonable. It's taken us, I think, Like things that used to take 2 months to get here have taken as long as 6 months. So we're by July, we're going to have everything locked in for what our holiday sales are. And then hopefully we won't run out of anything. Hopefully. So Matthew, the inside dimensions of this vacuum sealer, it's got this cutting board material plate. It's called a filler plate in here. This does two things. One, it takes up some of the room, means that there's less air this vacuum pump has to get out, so it can get it done a little bit quicker. But it also, this is the seal bar for it. Having that in there, depending on how big the item you have in your vacuum pouch is, that can help it align better with the bag. What I always tell people is if they're doing something that has a lot of liquid in it, just remove that, keep your bag down. It'll make it harder for it to get sucked up out. Because a chambered machine, while it will do a good job with things with lots of liquid in it, and it removes the biggest issue of doing things with lots of liquid, which is sucking moisture up into the machine, which is what happens with the chamberless vacuum seals. It still can get in here and create quite a mess. I'm going to grab a tape measure. I'll be right back. All right, so inside dimensions are 12 and a half-ish. And then just under 15, but from the center of the seal bar all the way to the back of the unit is 14 inches. And then you've got this nice little bubbled hood here. So with that, we're going to get 2 inches to the bottom of this. And then it looks like just about under 2 inches with the bubble. So you'd be just around 4 inches, though, man, it looks bigger than that. Do I have anything I can stand up in there to test? I really don't. Yeah. Somewhere in the 4 to 5 inch range, I would say. Apparently, we're still doing some work here. We've got a couple of projects going on. Yep, I don't know if you can hear that or not. But some construction here at good old Walton's. John Geringer says, Geringer, vacuum only cold liquids as well. I've never tried to vacuum anything hot. I can't think of a reason you would want to, but okay, that's I'm sure there's a good reason for that. Does it have something to do with, like, water boils in a vacuum? Does it have something to do with that? If it's hot, will it over boil? Answer if you can. Oh, chef, need to put the True Hone on a holiday sale. Sadly, I don't think the True Hone is ever going to be on sale again. We did it once a couple of years ago when I first fell in love with it. I don't know, maybe. I mean, crazy things happen now and again. We might be able to get a really good deal on it. All right, so John is saying that is what it was, or why not to do it, since it's already closer to a boil, I guess. As soon as you put it in a vacuum, it's going to kind of blow up and make a huge mess. Now, people who've watched a lot of these will have heard me say this before, but one of the more ridiculous experiments I did, and I knew it wasn't going to work, okay? I want to make that clear first. I knew intellectually this wouldn't work. But when I first put water in a vac bag, pulled a vacuum on it, and saw it boil, I had to find out if it would cook pasta or not. I knew that it wasn't the boiling, just that created it. It was the heat, but I had to be sure, and it does not. So. But I think my tape measure No, there's plenty of room in there. Hold on. Okay, so that's pushing it down. All right, so we have 1.5 inches sticking out of that. And it's 3.5. Yeah, okay. So we're right about 5 inches from the base of this without the plate up to the top of that bubble. I don't know. I don't think it's bigger than the VP215. I feel like at least the VP215 was deeper. That might be wrong. This is definitely a smaller base unit than the VP215. The VP215 extended a lot more back. Let me turn this sideways so you can get a look at it. I don't know if you see all of that or not. Oh, we're on a delay. So for those who were with us for our last few live streams, we had a piece of equipment fail. And we were doing it with just a cell phone for a while. We're obviously back to our good camera. We're using a capture card and some software. But yeah, that's way longer of a delay than I'm used to. It's just now showing me turning that. Yep. So not quite as deep a unit as the VP 215. It is a gas or oil pump just like the VP 215. So you want to change it every, I believe they recommend every 1,000 bags. Now, one of the things that's interesting about the Primavac is they want you to run through a warm-up cycle anytime it hasn't been used in 24 hours. Now, for a commercial processor, that's not a big deal. For a restaurant, that's not really a big deal because it's very rarely going to go 24 hours without being in use. But for the home processor, it's often going to go through weeks without use. And the warm-up cycle, I believe, took 15 minutes. So I don't know if people are going to do that or not. The reason stated was that it wants to remove any impurities from the oil and help extend the life of the pump. But I mean, 15 minutes to get it ready to use is kind of asking a lot. Yeah. We are having our Walton's chambered machines coming in. I'm sorry, I don't have a really good date for it. We're hoping by the end of June now that we'll have them, but I can't guarantee that. That unit will have a few advantages over this one. It's not going to have that 15-minute startup to begin with. And it's also got just a few more options and a little bit easier of a interface. This unit does have I think this unit has some programmable sections, or at least the two larger ones did. That's right, this one doesn't. But it's a good unit, does a good job, could be a little bit simpler. I got disconnected for a bit. Know how to enter, please help. Yeah, I mean, go to waltonsinc.com/live. I think you were asking if you were on your Android earlier. Just try and find those like 3 vertical or horizontal buttons. Click them. That's like your More section. And there should be an option under there that says View as Desktop. That should then let you enter the giveaway. But you're probably better off getting to a laptop or a desktop. There it should show right away. Someone said that looks bigger than the VP215? Really? Huh. The VP215 is much bigger in my mind. We're going to look it up. dimensions. No, I just want to go to, there we go. Additional info, where are you? Okay, so the VP215 is 20 inches by 14 by 15. This is just under 19 by under 12 by 14. So yeah, this is a little bit smaller than the VP215. But yeah, in the same area. Am I looking at the wrong thing? I'm looking at VP215. It says machine dimensions, 20 inches, which has got to be long. And this says it's 19. And then 14 inches, which must be height. And this is just under 12. And then by 15. And this is 14 and a quarter. But whatever. Yeah, they're similar. They're both going to do, I think, 10 by 13 inch bag is going to be the largest thing you're going to get in here. That kind of can be the biggest problem with the chambered machine, is to get beyond a 10 by 13 or a 10 by 15 bag, the price goes up exponentially. You're going from around $1,000 to $1,900 or something like that. It gets a lot more expensive when you have to increase this chamber size just even a little bit. And it makes sense because it requires a much stronger pump to be able to suck all that air out of here efficiently, consistently, and to actually get it all. One of the things that we really liked about this unit, we have a little reader that we can put inside a chamber, and it'll tell us what millibars it got down to. And I believe this one, I think it got down to 4 millibars in a regular seal cycle. I don't think our VP215 ever got quite that low. It was close. I think it was 7. But right there, we're relying on not the best memory from something I did, and I think I did a video on it a long time ago. But yeah, no, it's a good machine. Someone's going to be really happy with it. Two biggest advantages to a chambered machine over a chamberless machine is, one, the vac bags that you used for a chambered machine are a lot less expensive. The reason being is they can be smooth on both sides. A chamberless machine, one side at least of your bag has to have a texture. That's to allow the machine to have something to kind of pull against. If it's smooth on both sides, all that'll happen is it'll close right near the beginning, like right near where you put the bag in the machine, and it'll never pull anything up. I showed people this. Hold on. I showed people this on Meatgistics the other day. They are starting to kind of, let me see if you guys can see this. They're kind of making their way into our market. This is a chamberless machine that works with chambered bags. Now, it does that by pushing this little nozzle out into the opening of the bag. Then, when you go to seal it, that retracts and then everything seals. This did not work well. I was really excited about this. I thought the company that came out with it didn't really have an understanding on what the advantage that they would provide with this machine, but it doesn't work great. The biggest issues are you have to keep whatever you're vacuum sealing right up on this nozzle. I mean, it has to be almost touching it. Otherwise, it's going to do the same thing it would do before. It's just going to close that bag right there, and then that's it. It won't suck any more air from further back in the bag. And one thing I always like to tell people to do is put your product all the way to the end of the bag. That way, if you need to open it for any reason, you cut along the seal and then you can reseal it in that same bag, saving you on bags. This would completely make that impossible. And unfortunately, it just didn't do a great job. So if people see this and get real excited, I wouldn't spend the money on it. I mean, they're not expensive, but it also doesn't work really well. Yeah, no, Travis, I was talking to this company. They were in China, and I was like, I don't think they understand what this is going to do. And I really did think it was going to work, but just didn't. Yeah, the chambered machines definitely do way more. That is one thing we are fighting right now is shipping costs. Everything's going up. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Unfortunately, everything is getting more and more expensive. My grocery bill, and it's just me and my wife, is literally twice what it was a year and a half ago. And I'm not buying anything different or anything more. Price of everything is going up, and it's been doing it, I feel like, sneakily. One of the things that I did when I'd heard somebody talk about it on a podcast is if you want to see it, go add something to your cart on Amazon, then come back 3 weeks later and check what that price is. I can almost guarantee you it will have gone up. Electronics are getting hit. Seems like worse than anything else, but it's definitely hitting our industry too. So just something to be aware of. With the plug out the back would be 20 inches. Okay. Yeah, I guess you probably would include that. So, yeah. So I'm going to make sure everybody at Walton's gets to try this. One of the things that we definitely like to do is anytime we get a new seasoning is make sure our commercial salesmen and customer service people get to try a decent amount of it. That way they can better inform customers on their thoughts and opinions on it when they call in or however they get in touch with them. And then like with the Walton's Bold Tender Jerky, if you join us for our live stream on Monday, we'll draw a couple of winners and I'll send them a bag of jerky that I've made and a bag of seasoning of their choice. Or if you don't do a lot of meat processing, we can swap out a few Excalibur shakers. But this, I don't necessarily want to send it out. I'm just not 100% confident on the water activity on it. And even if when I read it, it is where I expect, which will be in the high 0.6, low 0.7. I don't know. It's the first time I've used that vertical double XL, and I live in not constant fear, but I'm always worried about anything somebody tries that I've made here. Worst fear would be to give somebody food poisoning. That Walton's Bold Tender Jerky I've made is A, really good, and B, I'm 100% sure that that is never going to grow anything on it. I've done that and then left that stuff out unvacuum sealed for literally months at a time, monitoring it all the time to see if it grew anything. Never grew anything. I've left it out at room temperature in bags to see if it grows anything. Doesn't grow anything. So that I know is good. But yeah, so join us, Forrest. We generally draw 3, 4, 5 jerky and seasoning winners. Yes. Jeffrey Purell says, tried the Chipotle Lime Sweet Rub. Great flavor. Highly recommend. Do I not have it up here? I do not. Where did I give it? Must have given it to somebody. The Chipotle Lime Sweet Rub and the Authentic Buffalo Hot Wing or whatever is 2 of the new ones from Excalibur are up in my top 10 for sure. Probably the lime is in my top 2 or 3. I love that. It goes great on chicken. It's amazing on pulled pork. Great on ribs. It is a really good all-around seasoning. Gives you some smokiness, little bit of heat, not much, little bit of heat, and you get some of the lime and you get some sweetness. It's really well-rounded. And then that hot, authentic buffalo wing jerky or whatever the name of it is, the number one ingredient is like the Frank's Red Hot cayenne dried pepper. And it, perfect. Tastes just like dried Frank's Red Hot. And I love Frank's Red Hot. A lot of times when I'm doing smoked wings at my house, I'll take about half a stick of butter, pour in a half a cup or so of the Frank's Red Hot, melt that, and then coat my wings in that. So good. I cooked some Quapaw tribe fillets for the family and seasoned them with your ultimate steak and roast. I had to leave the rub with them. Anytime we go anywhere, I always bring a couple of shakers of that because A, people want them. B, like if we go to like an Airbnb, I'll bring a couple of shakers and just leave it because they're eventually going to call to get more. It is, and I'm not being facetious here, it is the only thing I put on steaks anymore. And I eat, not a disturbing amount, but I eat a good amount of steak. All right, let's make sure everybody's entered to win. All right. Let's draw a winner. No, I just need one. All right, Steve Winscott. Steve, let us know you're here. If you're not here, we'll go on and pick somebody else. I know I'm on more of a delay than usual, so I will wait a couple of minutes, but congratulations, Steve. I'll go ahead and email you, get your contact information, and get this sent out to you. Wow, that was fast. Okay. Congratulations, Steve. That you've got a really good unit there. You're going to be happy with it. So, cool. Oh, God. We've got a couple of interesting things coming in. I don't want to say too much about them, but we've got some interesting barbecue stuff on its way in that we just ordered it the other day. So in the coming weeks, months, whenever it gets here, we'll start doing some social media, some videos on it. We'll show them to you during these live streams, the podcasts, all that stuff. Hopefully this fall, our busy season, Walton's busy season, starts somewhere late August, September, and goes through about January, or that's how it normally is. This past year, we never had a slow season. It was just busy all the time. But we start ramping up our sales a little bit more dramatically around there. The giveaways, we try to do a pretty good job of keeping those somewhat consistent. Some are a little bit bigger, some are a little bit smaller. But this year, with our own grinders, with our own stuffers, slicers, vacuum sealers, we're going to have some awesome sales, some awesome giveaways for sure. And don't forget, definitely join us on Monday, the 3rd at 2:30, same place, waltonsinc.com/live. We are going to have a couple of redraws for unclaimed giveaways. People who entered, won, and then just never responded to me trying to get in touch with them. That's going to be a vac tumbling kit is one of them, and the other one is a number 12 grinder. I think with that number 12 grinder, don't hold me to this, but I think with that number 12 grinder comes Meatgistics leather apron. With the vac tumbling kit, you're also going to get one each of all of Excalibur's injectionable seasonings and the Walton's automatic syringe injector. So you will have everything you need to make awesome tender pheasant, chicken, all of that. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. We'll see you Monday. Oh, I don't know if I can stop this from here. We're about to find out. Yep, I can end it from here. See you guys.